Hey, wisdom leaders, warriors, friends of God. Tonight we're going to, and tomorrow, whenever you're watching this, we're going to look at Proverbs 10 and 11. But before we do, let me just give you kind of a foundation on which to listen to this little broadcast. By the way, I'm Bill Blaine. You probably knew that by now. Working with the company is called New Gates, and we're raising up true father leaders on the earth. And this wisdom search that we're doing right here is helpful to that endeavor. When I'm saying true father leaders, what the Lord has been teaching me over the years is father leaders, men and women who can think with their head and heart in alignment with Him. And that's not easy. Sometimes we can get the head there, but sometimes the heart doesn't want to go, or maybe the heart wants to go, but the head's kind of fuss and say, I don't trust it. So with that foundation, what I want to do tonight is just read through what I'm looking for in the people around me as I'm mentoring, leading others into this leadership. I want to bring out the good qualities in them. You know, everybody has some flaws and difficulties, and yeah, I may have to address those at times, but you'll see most often in me encouraging people to go up higher, stretch further in the good things that they have, because they'll figure out some of the negative things. And so if we can concentrate on the good and bring that forth, the bad will kind of work along the way. And that's some of the principles that some other leaders might teach too, about don't concentrate on the negatives, concentrate on your positive or your benefits. The title maybe that I would put for chapter 10 and 11 for myself, particularly as the Passion Translation works through these scriptures. In the Passion, it'll often say the lovers of God, and in other translations, it'll say the godly, or those who seek God, or something like that. So I kind of like the Passion Translation called lovers of God. So I'm gonna call tonight or this session, the lovers of God have a successful life. And and we're going to be looking at the attributes of a true father leader, which are those lovers of God. And if you want to just kind of shorten it all down, we're looking for leaders to let love lead. In other words, let the love of God lead you in everything that you're doing. That's what Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and body and strength. And then go love your neighbors yourself. And what I teach in this leadership mantle for Christians is, if we can learn to love the Lord with our mind and with our heart and with our body, and our soul is a recipient of those, then we can turn and go outside and focus on others. And it says love your neighbor, and if you want to put it in a marketplace kind of thing with business and so forth, you can say go love your constituents, go love your clients, go love your customers, go love your patients, go love your students, go whatever, you get the idea. And if you want to use serve instead of love to kind of give it an action point, go serve those people well. And serve them like yourself. So God's got this formula down. It's a pretty simple thing. Jesus said all the commandments are summed up into that. So this wisdom search is going to help you with that. So with that, I'm just going to kind of rapidly go through here and look at some of the verses and just highlight them for you. I'd encourage you to get the translation you like in it and highlight. And again, Proverbs often, in particular over the next number of sessions we're going to have, it'll begin to contrast things. The good people do this, the bad people do this. The good people do this, the bad people do that. Good. And tonight we're going to say we're good leaders. I'm calling them out, saying, here are what good leaders do, and here's what they experience as a part of it. For example, wisdom brings joy to a father, or wisdom of a son brings joy to a father. I can tell you the negative. It says a son who lacks wisdom makes his mother grieve. And some of you may have understood that or did that yourself. Wisdom based in honesty brings lasting happiness. The Lord satisfies the longing of his lovers. Here we go, started with the lovers of God. Those who have wisdom will have wealth. Those who have wisdom know the importance of the season. The lovers of God are enriched beyond belief, says the Lord. The reputation of the righteous becomes a sweet memorial to him. The heart of the wise receives and accepts instruction. Those who walk in integrity, which to me is an element of wisdom, and which is an element of this true father leaders, being authentic leaders, being men and women of integrity. They have a fearless confidence in life, because you'll prove yourself out over time that if you walk in that integrity, you become a trustworthy person, you become a person who people can come to, and you have greater confidence yourself because you know you're walking the right path. The teaching of the lovers of God are like living truth flowing from the fountain of life. I mean, look how powerful that is. And so that's what we, as you get to be a parent and you start growing in your integrity and the way that you present yourself to your kids, all of a sudden your kids love it because they want to come and get your wisdom. And as we're teaching in this, there's a greater wisdom than just our knowledge base applied to experience, that we can get divine wisdom for the moment, and in situations it's even transcends what we're doing and even helps make everything much more successful and beneficial. The words of wisdom flow from those who have true discernment. Wise men don't divulge the secrets of others. Wise men's or rich men's wealth is like a citadel of strength, and is what he's kind of alluding to here, is that the wise will become rich. Doesn't always mean it'll be monetary rich. You'll be rich in many things, but I just want to encourage you, you'll be a rich person. The lovers of God earn their wages for a life of righteousness. This is an example of that kind of rich inheritance. The wise will receive correction, and then when they do, they will walk on the paths of life. Lovers of God feed many with their teaching, and their teachings of the godly ones are like pure silver. Living in the worship and awe of God, again, this is the lovers of God, the living in the worship and awe of God will bring many years of contented living. And again, so those leaders, I'm encouraging you, may not get quick success in the first 6 months or 6 years, but you continue on this path. And God is saying here, you keep doing this and I will reward you. You will find yourself in these places of contentment in the years ahead. The lovers of God have a joyful feast of gladness. The beautiful ways of God are a safe resting place for those who have integrity. God's lovers will never be shaken. So you just get the feel here in chapter 10, again, all these beautiful things, and I just want to encourage you. These are attributes, these are characteristics of those lovers of God, those men and women who want to follow him with their head and heart in alignment to him. Proverbs 11, very similar to that. I'll probably just kind of skip through this a little bit quicker. The blessings of the blessings of wisdom rest with the righteous, and it brings strength and favor to the entire city. The blessings and favor resting upon the righteous influences a city and lifts it higher. I'll just put this on the other side. Here's the negative part. But the wicked leaders tear it apart with their words. Again, it's really powerful. Just take your time and read through this. I'm just skipping in and calling out the attributes of a good quality high leader. There are plenty of negatives in here. If you want to be kicked in the butt and you feel like you need that, read through here and see if, he talks about hypocrites and liars and people who are wicked and tearing things apart. And we see enough of that. So you don't need me just, pointing fingers like this. If we call ourselves up higher, it will expose the wickedness in that. And I'm not saying don't deal with it. I'm just saying you do your part, God will do his part, and we're going to see this thing change around us. A man of kindness attracts favor. A son of righteousness experiences the abundant life. I'll read this in the negative first just because it's easier to understand it. The Lord cannot stand the stubborn heart bent toward evil, but he treasured those who have a pure heart. I love that verse. It's one of my favorite verses that Jesus talked about. It says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see, and I'll often put the word hear, they will see and hear God because they have an open heart to hear and to obey. True lovers of God are filled with the longings for what is pleasing and good. Generosity is found with the wisdom, is with the wise, and they will be prosperous. And those who live to bless others will have the blessings heaped back upon them. Here's the negative first, just to get the context. Keep trusting in your own riches, and you will find yourself falling down. But the lovers of God will rise up like flowers in the spring. Those who love God will live a life long and happy and full of fruitfulness, and they will have wisdom that will win souls. So I just want to end with that tonight, that or in this session, just to say, again, I'm calling you up to a higher level. Concentrate on the good, be in the good, stay in your strength. This is what Jesus is calling people out to. I mean, every now and then he had to say, "You brood of vipers," to the Pharisees. They had the word of God. He said, "Yeah, yeah, you think you have salvation just because you know the word?" He said, "But you're far from me." What I hear in these Proverbs, and the way that I like the Passion brings it out, he says, "You lovers of God, those who lean in." You know, some people really liked that the other night about just leaning into God. So I just encourage you tonight to lean into Him, trust in Him. But again, pull out your own Bible, read this for yourself, and hopefully this video encourages you to do that and to just draw near to Him, because He really is, particularly in this year and in the years to come, with these dark clouds of His presence with a gold lining, as you've heard me say. He's shaking everything can be shaken, but He's drawing us closer to Him, because it is making us kind of like, what's going on? How can I do this better? And I'm calling you tonight in these sessions to say, trust Him. He's going to bring us through, but He's calling us to stay on the road of righteousness, stay focused on Him. And if you want to just put it in my simple languages, I'm just keeping my eyes on Jesus. On Jesus. All right. Bless you, love you, and enjoy this session. Take care. Bye.